coming back to the world of the beginners. It's very huge, and as teachers, we try to help them to build it, maybe even dispel a myth, settle some basic principles. But one of the questions concerns follower's effort, because very often we hear, at least here in Spain, oh, it was a great dance with this advanced leader. I had nothing to do, and he can just lead me. And actually, we know that she's not aware that she's not led but dragged, maybe by experience, decision, and even force. A leader, how we can definitely help open her eyes, besides of time and practice.
The way, I think that's a fascinating question. Every time I go to different places in the world, they all have their different unique problems associated with social dancing. The way I look at Lindy Hop is I look at two bodies, male and female, coming together as one body, and they're sharing energy at different points. They're both equal in order for it to work, except they have completely different responsibilities. And so for the leader, if we really look at the perspective of what their responsibility is, it's simply to serve their partner by creating energy so their partner can move in a direction. And so my role as a leader is very limited. I just start things. It takes a really solid foundation and a very simple understanding of what's really happening without a lot of complex language. And so the follower is really the recipient of all of the energy. The whole dance is about them taking energy and moving somewhere with it. And then the leader runs over there and says, well, let me set something else up again. And then the leader has to be very vulnerable to see if the follower can respond to the intentions. If the follower doesn't respond to the intentions, if he's a gentleman and a good leader, he'll make it seem like there's never a problem. And they'll continue to work with what they have. Same for followers. There's much more than just moving around and doing shapes. You're a person receiving energy to move and dance in a direction. And so you have to own that role and really love that responsibility of expressing yourself as you're moving someplace else. And it takes a tremendous amount of work, but you can do it. And they're both equal, except your responsibility is much more as a follower.
Yes, thank you. Maybe I hope that your words will convince them finally.
I don't find that
pleasure. I think they confuse two different principles of solo jazz, or maybe dance solo when you are alone, and in prayer. It's another world. Why you chose swing? Why not? Why didn't you stay in hip hop? So what led you to swing?
Oh, that's a great question. I don't think I've ever had anybody ask me that. I've been dancing all my life, and the thing that I loved about swing dancing was that it related so much to what I did in hip hop, but the challenge was doing everything I did in hip hop with creativity and improvisation, but tied to another body. And there was no other art form out there that could present that challenge to me as someone who had been dancing for 20 years. Like, how can I improvise to music that feels very similar to what I already do, but with two people at a time? I thought that was fascinating and unprecedented. And so that's what really sold me, was that the artistic element of Lindy Hop was very similar to hip hop. The community aspect of Lindy Hop is what I enjoyed better, was the fact that you could share your creativity with regular people, no matter if they're really good or if they're in a crew or a professional, but I could dance creatively with any person. And I thought, I can do that for the rest of my life.
Okay, so another question is connected with it. So for you, Lindy Hop, is more freedom more than limits? Because another person, your prayer, can limit you and gives you a freedom. So what is more for you in it?
Yeah, when I dance Lindy Hop, there's only a few boundaries, and those boundaries are there to help keep us protected and to keep us moving forward. It's much like a stop sign. You have a four-way stop sign and people come. The stop sign's not there to hinder you from moving forward. It's to keep order so that everyone can move forward in the right time. And so that's what attracted me to Lindy Hop, was that there is a little bit of structure, much like the rhythm section in swing music, but then I can function like a soloist, like a trumpet player with another body. And I thought that challenge was much better for me than everything I did in hip hop, which was all choreography or improvisation all by myself, but yet I couldn't share it with other people.
So what did you swing, precisely swing? Not ballet, not salsa, bachata. I don't know if it's clear. Why exactly it was Lindy Hop?
Well, the thing that I loved about Lindy Hop was that it was alive. Both the leader and the follower had separate roles. The leader and the follower did not just know the same steps and they just do the same steps. And they're just holding hands, moving together, but there's no feeling in the relationship. There's no.
Yeah, you're right.
And so for me, when I saw Lindy Hop, I thought it was choreographed when I first saw it. And then when I actually danced with someone who was professional, I realized that they were delayed. They were moving after me. And I felt like there was energy coming behind me. And I said, whoa, what is that? Is that normal? Am I doing something wrong? And she says, no, that's what it's supposed to be. In that realization and realizing that Lindy Hop is something that is a call and response type of dance, and it has a minimal structure, that was heaven for me, because that allowed me to do the same thing I did in hip hop, which was create, but yet still have some type of structure that was predictable. And I didn't think the other dances did that for me. They were too easy. It's just steps.
Yeah.
And I could already dance. I could do choreography, and I did all that kind of stuff. It was too easy.
Yeah, we always try to explain that Lindy Hop swing is about different style of steps. It's not only one as a scheme you have to follow. There is a great variety of read of basics, and you can create, you can change it. And how would you comment me this point, this fact that it was Lindy Hop was created maybe by lower structure, lower layer of a society because of sadness, because of problems of the times, and now it's a leisure. Now it's leisure time for everybody. So in what focus do you see this progression of this dance? Is it correct, or have we to remember our pupils maybe what are the origins of this dance?
If we are benefiting from something we didn't create, we have to be sincere about our involvement in it. And we have to really love it and care for it for the right reasons, so that other people who come behind us in the future can have that same benefit. And so when I look at the humble beginnings of Lindy Hop, it comes out of pain. And it comes out of faith. You have people, see, for me, when I look at the word faith, some people look at it as a religious word. I do too, but I also look at it as you have fear and you have faith. But both are faith. You have faith that something's going to work out okay, or you have faith that something is not going to work out okay. And that's fear, right? And so when I see people who create beautiful art forms, like hip hop, like Lindy Hop, like rock and roll, like all of the American art forms were created by my people, 99% of them. And so there's a lesson there for us to all learn from the past. And that is, whenever we have hard times, we always want to believe that it can get better. And instead of using our arts to be destructive, we want to use our anger and our passion to create something good. And every time we do that, when we have sadness and hardship, it births something beautiful that benefits all of humanity. And that's why white people like it, Asian people like it, because it isn't a black dance. It is a human emotion that a certain segment of the human race has tapped into more easily than others, just because they're willing to yield to that emotion and they're willing to express themselves and not intellectually hide from it. And so you can see it in any culture. Whoever was the most persecuted or the lowest in society, they tend to be very honest about that pain and articulate it through music and song. And so for me, that's a lesson that I learned. Every time I hear music that moves me at my core, I read a little bit about the people who created it. And I think, wow, man, Louis Armstrong made that.
Yeah.
He was just a poor black man in the ghetto. Wow. And a nice Jewish lady gave him his first cornet. Wow, that's a powerful lesson. What can I do to help, some young kid who I may not identify with his music, but how can I help them express themselves in a very positive way that will bring value to humanity?
Mm-hmm. How do you see the kind of discord between maybe sad songs and very, very joyful dance? But there is no correspondence between the text of the song and the dance. Do you think we have to express something that we see in the text of the song, if we understand it? Because sometimes it's very strange. The text is so sad, there is a sorrow, and we are so shiny, and we do some movements that even don't correspond to what we hear, what we listen.
Yeah, that's an interesting assessment. For me, I'm less structured about how people need to do things.
Yeah.
I'm very open about things that are preferential versus things that are fundamental. And so for me, that's an issue of what people just feel like doing. If they want to be silly to a song, hey, I can be silly to a song. But I think there are points in our life when we sober up and we recognize changes in life, and sometimes we have to pause a little bit and get serious and recognize what's in front of us, and so we can really value it for its true purpose. Or you don't take things very seriously for a long time. So, but that's kind of what I think is it's more of a matter of preference. I wouldn't have a real, affirmative declaration that people should have, but I dance very silly a lot of times, just because that's how I feel emotionally when I'm dancing with a partner and they're just laughing out loud because I did something, and then it makes me want to be more silly. But then I forget I'm dancing to Tears or Stardust by Louis Armstrong.
Yeah, we have to connect our emotions at that moment to the text of the song and to the epoch of this music. You understand? And maybe to finish now, to conclude, what message would you leave for Spanish swing community? Maybe.
Oh, I love Spain.
You're welcome.
I'm always boasting about Spain and to people all around the world. For me, Spain is really like the capital of Lindy Hop in Europe for me. Just because it meshes very well with their culture as a whole. They like to spend time with each other. It's easy to get to know people. They like to stay out late. And I just tell people to keep that up, keep that spirit going. Be interested in Lindy Hop. Learn about Lindy Hop. Let's not make Lindy Hop something that we could we don't want to make Lindy Hop a flagpole and hang up our own agendas as the flag. We want to make Lindy Hop Lindy Hop. And if we're serious about Lindy Hop, get serious about it, because the people of the future, they're going to look at our videos and they're going to be inspired by what we do today.
You're right.
And if all they see is is what we're doing is what they did 100 years ago, exactly the same way, it doesn't look very progressive. So we have a responsibility to preserve, but we also have a very, very important responsibility to add our art to the dance. And in order for us to do that, we have to get serious about it and really, really love it, really enjoy it. If you're a teacher, teach. You may not be that good, but it's okay. Teach people. If you are a DJ, love the music. Start listening to more of the music. If you want to put on big events, put on big events. Make money, but do it for the right reason. If you feel like you don't have anything that is important, and you think, well, all I can do is just volunteer and help and take someone to the airport or invite them into my home, please do that. I think that is really the spirit of what Lindy Hop is all about, which is bringing in people from a different world into your world and allowing them to connect with you, because I think that's what makes our community special, and we need everybody to play their part to make that happen.
I know that we have not much time today, and to conclude our conversation, our interview, I would like you add some words, if you like, about your smart street swing project. Maybe.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, to clarify maybe to promote this project and clarify the initiative and the ideas you have.
Yeah, about 5 years ago, when I was traveling abroad, actually I was in St. Petersburg. How funny. I was in St. Petersburg and I was having a conversation with someone, and I thought, man, this conversation could really benefit a lot of people, except it's just you and I talking about this. And so in my heart of hearts, I said, I need to start a school at some point to really help dancers, but I don't really have a stationary school here in Oklahoma. And most of my influence hasn't been just in my local community here. It's been all over the world. And so I thought, what a true blessing to live in a time where we have the internet that's connecting so many minds together in such a simple and practical way. Why don't I just start a school to see if I can help as many dancers, no matter where they're at on the planet, achieve their goals of what they want in swing dancing. If that is for personal swing dancing development or to build a really healthy community. And so about 5 years ago, I started planning a school, and I launched it last year. And I'm super excited. Yeah, I'm really, really excited. So we've designed everything to be based on what the student actually needs. So I don't make any classes unless the students demand the classes. So they write me and they say, hey, I'm dealing with this problem in my swing out. How do I fix this? I'm looking on YouTube and I can't find an answer. So what I do is I go in my studio and I produce a very professional class to answer it for them. And so all of the classes in the school are based on what the students actually want. And I really think it's really helping a lot of people, and I'm excited about building a community online. We have separate communities when we have our big events or our dance schools, but we don't really have a community online, a swing dancing community. And I thought, I'm going to start that and hopefully bring a lot of like minds together who really love swing dancing and who want to see it be here 500 years from now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think it's very useful and it's very interesting that you do, because really sometimes we can go to take class from a teacher we would like, and online it's a great form, and it comes really to everybody from this community, from this swing world. So my congratulations, and really it's very interesting project.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Jamin.
My pleasure. Anytime.